Inga mana, inga reo, inga ka rangatanga, rau rangatira mā, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Ladies and gentlemen, kia ora, good afternoon. It's my very great pleasure to be able to be here in the big city today and with you all. Can I just firstly acknowledge the organisers for today. Thank you for putting on today's seminar, and we're pleased to be part of it. And also my two previous speakers, Philippa, outstanding work, and I've had the pleasure of working with Philippa through being a trustee of the Wainuiomata Marae. And Arthur, thank you for that in-depth. We've both we are all very lucky to have such dedicated people in this area. Can also just acknowledge, I see in the audience there one of my local government colleagues, Sue Kedgley, who of course has been a real champion for resilient cities. Now today I'm going to speak briefly just on how important councils are as an important driver to urban change and to respond to the Wellington chapter of the report. My focus is primarily though on the Hutt City Council, and it's our area which takes from Pencarrow Heads around the coast into Eastbourne, Petone, up the Hutt River of Te Awa Kāringi to Stokes Valley, the Western Hills on the west side with the Eastern Hills, and over to Wainuiomata and its coast. Lower Hutt, of course, is a wonderful, diverse city, diverse communities both culturally and economically, and that's a factor that we need to take into account. And we have a very proud history in Lower Hutt of manufacturing. However, we were badly affected in the 1980s with all of the changes that we saw with the economic changes, and we've seen a huge vacuum since that time with the loss of the very large car industry, clothing and textile industries, along with Palmolive and all, Colgate and all of these wonderful ladies. As the report notes, we've had minimal growth, and the population has been stagnant, in fact was forecast to see a negative growth. So for us in 2012, it was not an option to do nothing. A do nothing option was simply not an option. So for the past 4 years, and including in 2016, we now are and firmly focused on the rejuvenation of our city. Our communities have been working closely together, and that's important, a part of any rejuvenation project, particularly looking at articulating the vision that was talked about earlier. Our city has set some pretty ambitious targets for population growth because, as Arthur rightly says, for a city to continue to be successful, people need to be coming there and wanting to stay there. So we've set our target of at least 110,000 people living in the city, and an increase in the number of homes of at least 6,000 more homes by 2032. An ambitious goal, but we are certainly working towards that. This housing that's going to be provided would be through the greenfield development, housing intensification in areas close to amenities. So it was very interesting seeing the graph of the survey that has come forward from Philippa. I think that I have to say that probably in the last 18 months we've seen quite a change in that view. People now from the quarter acre section, which traditionally Lower Hutt has been for most of the property areas, are now starting to see and want the intensification, but not high density intensification, more housing that would say at a medium level. So also looking to supply and grow the apartments in the city next to transport nodes, suburban shopping centres, particularly in our central business district. And I see one of the candidates here for our Central Cbd, and he's on the same end. He's been out there campaigning. Mark has been campaigning and listening, he tells me, to our community, and so they are very happy to look at these sorts of areas close to transport, close to amenities, and particularly in our central city. So as the report notes, a significant proportion of people would be happy to live in the medium density housing and dwellings if they are accessible to the city, to our amenities, but importantly also if they are affordable. So as a council, we support and guided intensification with greater investment in our community facilities such as community centres, parks and gardens. And for example, we've just recently built and complete the new Walter Nash Centre in Taita, the northern part of our city, an area of high deprivation, and it has now provided a sports facility, fitness, computer suite, library and meeting facility for the entire community, now in one hub. This has been an outstanding success with nearly 250,000 people through the doors over the past 9 months, and it shows how important it is bringing communities together, and in that particular area it has worked well. We took our community with us as part of this revitalisation in this area right from day one, and I can report that with our young people we've actually now seen an 80% reduction in graffiti in that area. So these are going to be the sort of templates we have working forward for hubs around many other parts of the city. One of our key strategies is the development strategy for the Central CBD, which we're calling Making Places. The aim of the strategies are to firstly, one, turn the CBD around to face and connect our river, Te Awa Kairangi, to two, create a social and vibrant economic and resilient CBD where people want to be, and that is starting to happen. And an important project from the Making Places strategy is to develop a Riverside Promenade as the catalyst for CBD to turn towards and embrace our river. We've done many surveys, and the number one key issue is enhance the river more. And sadly, over many, many years through design, we've moved away from embracing the river, and so that's what we're looking to do. A mixed-use waterfront based on apartments, we believe, will inject new life into the CBD and refresh the city. And above all, as Arthur has said, attract new people to it. People living and working in downtown part of our city will create a stronger market for hospitality, a stronger market for retail and commercial activity. But we do believe from that good built form with the river, a landscape will be a real irresistible to the community and to investors. But we don't want investment at any cost. It has to be quality investment. Time. Oh, sorry. I forgot about those. There we go. So there's very quickly the Taita Walter Nash Centre. This is where we're talking about with the Making Places and the Riverbank Promenade. As we've said though, we don't want just development at any cost. Currently we have a few applications in for some development of what I would call low-cost inferior housing along the Esplanade Promenade area, and we are sitting down with those developers and saying that's simply not good enough. It's got to be of a more quality and affordable area, and I believe that there is real demand for that. So these future plans have been made possible through the collaborative work with the Regional Council, and I want to acknowledge our colleagues from Regional Council and the New Zealand Transport Agency. The three in partnership gives this promenade opportunity the opportunity to look forward from flood protection work and also upgrading the CB stock bank system, because we know that if there was a failure, and with global warming, which is absolutely now a reality, and sea level rise, it's been predicted that a major breach of our central city stock banks would be about $2.5 billion worth, and as we know that would be a huge undertaking for any city to have to recover from. So working with our regional council colleagues NZTA, we're looking to create a more sustainable and create a more vibrant central city area. The NZTA also have plans to refigure the Melling interchange, and that is part and parcel of the State Highway 2 upgrades. So it's important for us to create that gateway for the central city, but also connect walking and cycling and place a train station closer to the city. We are really wanting to encourage additional public transport, and we would see that coming where we would be able to have that walkway bridge right into the central city. So to strengthen CBD growth, we're also developing a new event centre, which is going to be right next to our historic town hall, which we are currently revamping. We've also, through our new processes and policies in place, we've been able to attract a new 4-star plus hotel to the CBD, which will also help with that redevelopment. Our civic area, refurbished gardens will all provide with additional green space, services that will complement the private sector and also any future apartment dwelling. New developments are evident, and 68% increase in the last 4 years of building consent shows that things are starting to happen, and we are very pleased with that. But again, we also add, but we don't want development at any cost. It has to be quality development. So we will continue with the incentives, and we do expect that the negative past projections to be diverted into a much brighter future. The other issue that we, of course, are looking at is science and technology, and we are very pleased to be able to report that the report noted that we were viewed by participants as specifically specialising in research in science and technology. And of course we're really promoting Lower Hutt now as time. Is that time? 1 minute? Okay. I suppose this is also a very, very good example of make sure you open the right speech. I've opened the longer speech, so sorry about that. So let's look. There was lots of other good stuff, but we do want to get to questions time. So can I just sort of maybe go right through to the end? That's page 75 out of the way. Also, I just want to say that our council has commissioned with GNS and Victoria University to review our known hazards. As Philip has rightly said, sea level rise is of a real concern to us in the Hutt Valley. The Commissioner's report clearly shows that the Wellington Region is at risk, and we are making sure, working with our regional colleagues in Wellington City Council, we're working along to get plans in place to ensure that we work closely to get on top of this with good planning. And the Mayor of Wellington, Celia, and I have had a number of meetings about looking at having a regional approach and regional task force to climate change, because this is an area that will affect our cities in the not too distant future. So look, I'm going to leave it there. You'll be very sad to know that I've left out about 40 pages, but I will make sure next time that I open the right speech. This is technology for you, but be very happy to take any questions. And again, thank you to the organisers. This has been a fantastic opportunity to come along and have some discussion. So I look forward to those questions. Kia ora and thank you.